welcome back. You might have just watched our South American video, which is actually quite interesting. Basically, we ranked all the South Americans to ever play in the Premier League. And we're going to stay on the Premier League topic today and maybe go a little bit more current with it. And we're just going to be talking about basically deadline day and what happened on deadline day. And
more importantly, what didn't happen on deadline day.
Yeah, more importantly, what didn't happen. I mean, it was underwhelming for a lot of teams. Chelsea, West Ham, Arsenal being three of them. Dele Alli to Everton for an upwards price of 40 million it can rise to.
Could be, yeah, but I imagine them add-ons would probably score 30 goals in a season or something ridiculous like that, yeah.
I mean, a good signing, I think.
I mean, it's a decent signing for free, isn't it? Yeah.
For Ali, and I think he'll hopefully get a good game time there, because I mean, for England, I'd like to see him back at least in good form.
Yeah. He will never be the player he was.
And now he doesn't play with Tottenham, I can actually quite like him, but we'll see we'll see what he does. I mean, Everton always have the ability of signing just past it players. I mean, Iwobi for 40 million. Camera just then not died, but they had too much storage, so it cut out there. So I can't actually remember what we were talking about. Dele Alli. Yeah. I mean, we'll see how he does. I mean, he could be transformed. But then who was Everton's other signing? Van der Beek.
He was they both operate in very similar areas of the pitch. It's going to be quite interesting to see
how they fit them all in.
Especially, I mean,
but they have had a lack of camps. I mean, since Sigurdsson and James both left in the same season.
But I guess the idea is that they've both been compared to Lampard in the way they play at some point. So Lampard
can coach them into
trying to coach them in.
Yeah, I can see how that's good. What do we think of Lampard going to Everton, Dan?
I think basically the expectations there are entertain the fans, play entertaining football. He was very entertaining as a manager, sometimes for the wrong reasons, mostly for the right reasons, I'd say. His games were always fun to watch. It was just, especially as a neutral, they would have been brilliant to watch. So that's all Everton fans want. It's just they've had so many boring managers. So basically just play nice football, don't get him relegated, which, I mean, they won't.
That's what I was going to say. They're in a relegation battle.
Yeah, I mean
he's not managed to keep.
All that's got to happen is the players. They got decent players there. It's just the players were feeling so bored that's why they were playing rubbish. All Lampard were doing is just say, right, go and express yourself. Kind of like an Ollie thing. We just go and express yourselves, enjoy yourselves. They'll have a boost. They'll have a new manager bounce. Do all right, keep them up, and then they sort of just finish. 8th or 9th is probably
they won't finish that high this season.
No, I mean like next season. Like finishing 8th or 9th for Everton next season is probably going to keep him happy as long as they're playing entertaining football. So I think it's quite a good job for him to go into. I don't expect
It'll be interesting to see how he does. Yeah. There was some other deadline day deals. Tottenham got in 2 players, Bentancur and Kulusevski.
Yeah, I mean Kulusevski a couple of years ago was touted as one of the greatest young talents in.
There's a reason why he's gone to Tottenham. Probably because he's not good enough.
In Serie A, 2 years since hasn't really done anything. Yeah.
I mean, Tottenham did some good business. I think they got rid of 2 players who they weren't working for them, so Lo Celso and Brian Hill, or Gill, however you want to say it. And they brought in 2 players that might help them out. So we'll see how they do. They might both flop, but who knows? I think Bentancur's on a permanent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dombele was the other one they got rid of, which was a good bit of business. But then at Arsenal, there was a few outgoings. In Aubameyang, I say few. Was he the only one? There's probably some others that we don't. Really
on deadline day, I think it's probably just Aubameyang.
Which to Barcelona. Barcelona.
Does anybody actually care about Aubameyang anymore? Really?
Does anyone care about Barcelona at the moment? I mean,
I do. Care about Barcelona or Aubameyang? I don't.
But yeah, it's not like if this transfer happened 3 years ago or 2 years ago, it'd be like, wow, what a signing.
When is the contract?
Arsenal going to be in the mud, but Arsenal don't care. Yeah. No one really cares. So yeah, that's where Aubameyang and Barcelona both at right now. They can both have their.
I guess the issue is Arsenal needed to buy a striker to replace him. And speaking of needing to buy a striker, Joe, your boys.
Well, we didn't need a striker. We didn't just need a striker. We needed a centre back as well. We just needed some. Last season we again in January, around Christmas January, we had a little bit of a dip, and we brought in Lingard, and he not only boosted the whole team's confidence, his own performances in the team, coming in, helping the team out around the camp. It was great. It was what we needed. I mean, we got hit with a few injuries, which is why I don't think Rice and Antonio both got injured, not for long, but I think it's why we didn't get top 4, because we had a few injuries. And that's all we needed this season. A bit of fresh legs, something in to help us. And we're playing more games this season. Last year we were out in the FA Cup to Man United early. This season looks like we probably might have a bit of a run. We've got Kidderminster, which we should win, and then who knows who we're going to go from there. I'd like to take the FA Cup seriously as well because I want to win it. It's a trophy we should be looking to win. We're not going to win the Premier League, so every season the FA Cup should be something we should look to win. Whether that's going to be possible or not, probably some seasons we don't have hardly any chance. But this season we have a chance because we're up there, one of the best teams in the competition. We're in the Premier League, and of course we're in the Europa League. We need that depth. And I'll tell you what, if we were sat in 12th position, so yeah, if we were 12th, I'd say like an Aston Villa, no threat of relegation, probably won't get Europe, I'd say yeah, there's no point really buying anyone. We've got a good enough team to see us out to the end of the season, and then we can look for better targets and so on when it's easier to buy players. However, we're not in that. We had a real opportunity to really push on and show the ambition that we want to stay where we are. We want to stay every season fighting for these European spots. And the owners, 50 million for Calvin Phillips, 50 million for Rafinha, they're never going to be accepted. It's like putting in a bid to just be like, yeah, look, we tried our best, and it's just like, well, you didn't. If you really were serious about buying players, you would have put in 50 million bids for Phillips and for Rafinha. I'm not saying they would have ever come to us, but you would have put in big bids at the start of the window, and then you would have said if they got rejected, you'd have gone back and you'd have hassled them. And
same with that Darwin Núñez, wasn't it? When you did bid on deadline day, Benfica said no chance. And it's also like when you bid that late, the other club has to think about getting a replacement, and it's sort of a domino effect. Whereas if you get it done early, everybody's got time. It's basically that Darwin Núñez was never going to get done on deadline day. I don't even know why they didn't waste their time.
I just can't get my head around why we didn't do the business earlier. I don't know. Moyes they call him Different David. I just don't see how he's so I want the best players for the squad. I was like, yes, we understand that, but if you can't find the perfect curtains, you need curtains for your living room, don't you? So not everyone can see in. Yeah. Just get someone you think's good enough, even if it's put them on. I don't know. I don't want to waste so much money on a certain player. I get that, but just get someone. We need help. Tony needs help up front. Moyes came out actually today and did an interview for 7 minutes. It was on our YouTube channel, and I think he was pressured into doing it because how shocking and bad this transfer window was. And he was like, "Well, the best backup striker to Antonio I could find was Jarrod Bowen," and I was just like, "Well." Yeah, we're not expecting you to go out there and find a Jarrod Bowen, but if you could just find someone who can sit on the bench, come in the last 20 minutes to give Antonio a bit of a rest and score a few goals, give the boys a bit of help, all we needed, all we wanted, and you'd just been I'd have been happy with the squad. And now we're just looking, we win games with our first 11, great, but we'll be playing games and we're not playing well, and then we're like, oh, we need some help, the boys need help, they're not playing well. We look to the bench, Yarmolenko, Masuaku, and Mark Noble. I love Mark Noble, but he's obviously not there. He's only there for the morale of the team. You've got Alex Crowell, he's done nothing. You've got players on that bench who are just terrible. It's just bringing absolute dross on. It's so heartbreaking because you just know that our position in this table is not going to last. We're going to end up back down in mid-table, down in finishing 13th, 14th every year like we were. And we had so much hope that if we've got a great manager in Moyes, so maybe that might not happen because Moyes is on a shoestring budget anyway, he's doing really well. However, you just sort of look at it and you've got Rice and Bowen, a few others. Rice and Bowen are the two that we just can't. If they go, then the team might fall apart.
Yeah, if the second half of the season is bad, them two will be looking at the board and thinking, what's the point of me staying around? If you're not going to show ambition to me, why should I show ambition and stay here and help you out? Rice will then be off for his Man City or his Chelsea move or even his Real Madrid move at this point.
We all feel like that as fans. I'm sure. They said West Ham put on their social medias today, Rice, Bowen, all the players looking really happy in training. It's probably because they are. The vibes are good because we're doing really well, and they're all happy. But when it starts going badly, and we haven't got anyone to help us. Moyes has a lot to answer for. In my opinion.
I think it's those two things as well.
It's Moyes and Sullivan. Yeah,
it's two things as well. Where Moyes did say this thing. It's like you've always got to get the right players for the dressing room. But there's 2 points to that. One, that means nothing really unless they perform on the pitch. Like Lukaku on paper in the summer was like, he looked like the perfect fit for the dressing room. He was a supposed boyhood Chelsea fan. He was the striker. He was supposed to be the missing piece of the puzzle, wasn't he? He's come in, and all he's done is upset the dressing room with that stupid Italy art interview. And it's sort of like, he was meant to be another, like, one of the lads, basically. He was meant to come into the dressing room and cheer it up, but it went the other way. And two, if they're not the right players for the dressing room, you bring them in and you keep them around and you help them get integrated into the squad. Especially in this season, because next year is a World Cup year, so the season's starting earlier, so you're going to have even less of a pre-season. Especially in COVID, there's going to be less tours, there's probably going to be less pre-season games. It's a shorter season, people are still going to have the summer, so you've got less of a pre-season to make summer signings work. If David Moyes is saying, right, we're going to wait till summer to make our true signings, they're going to have about 3 weeks maybe training, and then bang, straight into Premier League football.
It won't happen in summer.
If you bought them in January, you've got 6 months for them to get used to the squad, and then in the summer, then when the start of the Prem starts, he's already been there for 6 months. He may not have played much in that 6 months, but he's already been there. He's already got acclimatised, and he's ready to go when the season starts.
It was this crap transfer window in the summer. I mean, we bought 4 players, and only one of them starts. I mean, we rely on Moyes a lot. I bet his transfer, the whole transfers at our club, it absolutely stinks. I mean, the recruitment's good, but when they recruit someone, we don't recruit anyone. So I mean, no wonder our recruitment's been perfect, because we don't even sign anybody. But yeah, we're in one of the best seasons we've ever had, bar last season. We're in a Europa League round of 16 for the first time in my lifetime. We've got some amazing players, and I was so excited to see how this could go. And the last couple of days, it's been so down in the dumps and so depressed, because all I wanted was some actual signings to show that we mean something. When really, I'm just feel so deflated.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a similar. I mean, nowhere near as bad at Chelsea. Obviously, I feel like the trophies at Chelsea make up for a lot of ineptitude at the top of that club.
I mean,
it's sort of like it's basically our transfer strategy has always been basically Roman Abramovich's transfer strategy is throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks. If you buy 10 players and 5 of them are good, 5 of them are flops, you get 5 good players out of it. Man City will go out and sign 5 players, and every single one of them will be good. So sort of you get the same sort of productivity. So that's why we keep winning trophies, but then we're left with deadwood, and then eventually the deadwood just keeps piling up, and it's sort of like, and then even when we need to buy we needed to buy a deadwood left back to help us out for 6 months, and then go in the summer when Chilwell comes back, and we couldn't even do that. It's sort of, we're left with Marcus Alonso as our only registered left back at the club. It is very strange. We'll probably end up winning a Club World Cup next week, Carabao Cup maybe. We'll probably win an FA Cup, go far in the Champions League, and the board will look at it and say, "Oh, well, job well done. We didn't need to." Lukaku was a great signing, and sort of, it wasn't really. I don't know. It's strange. Obviously, that's very spoiled of me to say, because again, with the Champions League and we got 3 trophies to play for. But
you're very, very lucky, Dan. Chelsea, you have like one bad year, and then you'll throw money at it, and you'll be all right, because as long as you have Roman.
That's what I mean. You throw enough stuff at the wall, like, some of it will stick. That's basically how it works.
Clubs like West Ham, if we struggle and lose some of our best players, we won't be back for a while. You look at the Pyatt season. We were so good that year. I mean, we finished 6th. What was it in the end?
Yep.
7th in the end. Actually, we dropped off below Southampton annoyingly, which means we didn't get into Europa League group stage. We had to go to the playoffs, so we lost to Astragugu. But anyway, we'll save that for another day. I'll run about that later. And then the summer transfer window under the same ownership was terrible. We did the opposite. We just bought loads of rubbish. We bought Gökhan Torre, Simeone Zaza, Havard Nordveit. From memory, I just blocked all these players out of memory just because they're so bad. Jonathan Calleri, I think, was there. I mean, none of them. The only player that summer, our best signing that summer, was Arthur Masuaku.
Yeah, and even he's been a rotation player for 5 years.
He's been an all-right rotation player. And Pyatt, our best player at the time, saw there was no ambition there. Saw everyone was coming in was rubbish, and he saw, oh, well, I'm off, and then we were terrible in relegation battles for a couple of years, and we're finally back. It's been quicker than you might have imagined it from where we were. Relegation battle less than 2 years ago, or about 2 years ago, when Moyes came in. But we'll be back there if we don't sort this out, because we have a really good chance now. We've got a new owner in, we've got more money to spend. It's not like there's a lack of funds anymore. We just need to make sure that, I think with Moyes, we're so lucky that we can afford to, I don't know, but we're settled with Moyes. We could finish 13th and I'd still be happy with Moyes.
Yeah.
If I still see there's something there. Whereas clubs like Everton, Villa, Wolves, etc. I like Bruno. I like all their managers apart from Lampard. I like Gerrard. I like Bruno Lage. Leicester, Brendan Rodgers, actually, he's quite good. But there's no trust. If they play badly, the managers are gone, and then they're all over the place. Whereas I feel like we're very settled with our manager now. Like we got so much trust in him, and we have so much faith in him. That's what hopefully is what's going to keep us up and around, fighting for Europe every season, depending on who we have. Whereas other teams might struggle if they lose their, I don't know, current players. But
yeah. He just needs to stop being so stubborn. It's sort of like it's if he says like, there wasn't anybody suitable, isn't that the job of your scouting department? Is that you find someone?
Well, you've got a new head of recruitment in, and he's done nothing.
There's always going to be a player that is a good signing. There is never ever a time in the world that a player that there's no signing a club can make that benefits the squad. That's what the scouts are employed for. So it's sort of it's a failure in all.
I mean, parts. To be fair, the scouting's not bad. Because we're linked, we find all these players that we're linked to. We just don't buy them because Sullivan doesn't want Coletta Carr.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you are scouting the right players. Coletta Carr, Rafinha, Calvin Phillips are all brilliant players that would definitely suit the team. It's just,
I mean, even if we just got Coletta Carr in, I'd have been content because I'm just like, we've got that centre back cover now. I mean, striker was very important, but we'll see how it happens. Now I'm worried about this. Antonio getting injured. I'm worried about Zuma getting injured because Dawson and Diop are dreadful together. With either of one of them with Zuma, they're all right, but together they're shambolic. So we identified Coletta Carr, and Sullivan didn't want to pay the 15 million for him. He wanted him on a loan, and Marseille wanted the money. And it's just like, look, 15 million. It's not the most. What I'd have done. Got Coletta Carr for 15 million. I sold Diop because Newcastle were offering 15 million, and Coletta Carr's an improvement on him, even if he turns out to be average. So you've not lost any money there. But I mean, I'm not in charge of that with the club.
Yeah, I mean, basically all you got to do is just hope something changes. And
well, not under David Sullivan, David Gold. Hopefully, once this Krasinski guy will buy the whole club. Who knows if he'll start spending money? No, in our luck, probably not, and we'll be crap again. But anyway, I mean, anyone else we missed? I mean,
really, it was a bit of a dry January, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Newcastle.
Yeah,
actually, we haven't spoken about Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's another thing. People always say like it's hard to buy. It's hard to buy in January because you get inflated prices. It's like it's not really. I mean, Bruno Guimaraes for 30 million is not inflating. It's a great signing, and he would never have wanted to leave Lyon unless a suitable deal come along. Like if you pay good money,
50 grand a week, yeah,
that's probably it. Yeah, it's literally just it's not hard to buy in January. Like clubs, every player has a price.
Yeah, true. I mean, who else they get? Dan Burner's all right, but everyone Newcastle bought an improvement, so they might stay up with that. But they're not like wow signings, but every signing's an improvement. So they've got a good squad now. They might stay up now, but who knows? One last one I'd like to mention is about Weghorst to Burnley. I think that's a really good signing.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's better than Wood, I think. Yeah. So Burnley now looking. I mean, they got 10 million and Weghorst basically. Mm-hmm. I know they're losing Tarkowski in the summer, but let's see if they go down, they'll lose more than him anyway.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the relegation battle plays. That's probably more interesting than the top four battle at this point.
Top four battle is just who's the best of the worst, basically.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the best out of Man United, Tottenham, West Ham, and Arsenal, and maybe Chelsea might get brought into that. Who knows? Hopefully not for you, Dan, but I don't think so. But you never know.
Yeah.
If you have Champions League you want to concentrate on.
Well, there you go. That's a message to David Sullivan and Brady. Still there?
Yeah, Yeah, she is.
Yeah, Brady's still.
I don't know if you. It's actually quite a funny interview Moyes put earlier. He was like, Karen Brady was working so hard behind the scenes trying to get deals done. So what was she? She wasn't working hard enough then, because there's no deal. It's like, yeah, she worked so hard, and look what she's done.
Yeah, I mean, if my work gives me a job to do and I take 31 days to do it and then don't get it done, my managers aren't going to say, well, he tried really, really hard. They'd go, what the hell were you doing for 31 days and why is this not done?
Yeah, it's like if you did an exam at school and you got an F, and then they were like, sorry, you're not going to get into this uni with that grade. And it's like, oh, please, I tried really hard to get an F. I tried really hard.
We'll let you off.
Oh, if you tried so hard, obviously that means the world to us. Come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, obviously not. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. But yeah,
well.
I mean...
So what he says that, that's all we can say.
Enough of these analogies.
Yep.
Gold, Sullivan, Brady. I want you out my football club.
We'll end it on that. Cheers for watching.
Where's the outro?
Hit the like. There's the outro.